You got a big match, a lot of other things going on.
I'll tell you, this is one of the biggest cards that's been signed in a long, long time, and, you know, I guess it's appropriate. Following the Mid-South Fair that's been in town for 10 days here. And, of course, we've been having USWA Championship Wrestling out at the fair. It's going to be there again tonight. We've got the finals tonight at the Mid-South Fair of the big tournament that's been going on, and also again tomorrow night. I'm going to be out there tonight. I think Jeff Jarrett, Robert Fuller, a lot of people out there tonight, and tomorrow night also. So I want to invite everybody to come out there and see that. Before I talk about this match that I've got coming up Monday night, which is of course a big one, I want to mention a couple of other things that you said that we got going on here. Can you not hear me over there? Is there a problem?
All right.
That's Red upstairs. I know. We're blaming Red. Now we've got a little sound now.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, I just want to mention a couple of things you said. I got some other things going. You know, last week I mentioned this big benefit softball game that's coming up in Nashville tomorrow, and we've had a ton of calls here at the station in Memphis about it. I just wanted to mention there is a benefit softball game. This is a big softball challenge that's going to be taking place tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock at Greer Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, this is all to benefit the City of Hope, which is an AIDS and Cancer Research Center there in Nashville. And let me just tell you some of the people that I'm going to be playing softball with up there. I'll just mention the names, and you might want to make the trip to Nashville to see this game. It is going to be exciting. Here are some of the ball players that are going to be involved. Clint Black, Vince Gill, the Kentucky Headhunters, George Jones, Lisa Hartman's going to be there, T. Graham Brown, Paul Overstreet, Jim Varney, you know, hey Vern.
Hey Vern.
Yeah, he's going to be there. Jerry Lawler, I don't know who that guy is. Listen to this. Garth Brooks. Yeah. Travis Tritt, Mark Chestnut, Mark Colley, Tricia Yearwood, Patty Loveless, Shenandoah, Conway Twitty, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. There's going to be some Hall of Fame baseball players there playing too. Catfish Hunter, Don Sutton, Rick Roden, Phil Necro, and Gaylord Perry, and Reba McEntire singing the national anthem. It's going to be the biggest thing going, yeah. So anyway, now a lot of people asked about tickets. You can call Nashville Ticketmaster. The tickets are $10. And it's going to be tomorrow at 4 o'clock at Greer Stadium in Nashville if you want to come up there. And after the game is over, there's going to be a big concert. It's kind of a jam concert featuring everybody. So it should be good, okay?
Yes, indeed. Quite an afternoon. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow afternoon. And then next Sunday, Lawler's Army and one of the new kids are going to be up there playing. We're going to have a big softball game. I think maybe I bring Garth Brooks and Clint Black along with me, too. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to be up in Humboldt, Tennessee next Sunday. Not tomorrow, but the following Sunday. We're going to be up in Humboldt, Tennessee, and I'll tell you more about that to benefit the DARE program, the big drug rehab program.
All right, talk about this match Monday night.
Real quick, okay. I just want to mention the reason that I am excited about this match is because, you know, I guess a few years back, what took place in the wrestling industry or in the wrestling profession or business, as you know, all sports really, the bottom line is they're basically businesses. Everybody's in the sport to make money, and I guess before the advent of cable TV, what happened, the fans in this area, you know, they only saw the wrestling that was in their each individual's area. Because, you know, if somebody was in wrestling up in New York or out in California, you didn't see those TV shows, so you didn't know about the other wrestlers. But then along came cable TV, and several wrestling organizations got on cable, and then all of a sudden their shows are seen all over the world, all over the country. You know, like the WWF, of course, they're on all over the country, and then the NWA comes along, and then they're on all over the country on cable. And, of course, you know, USWA has been on ESPN, and we were seen all over the country, too. But what it did, it gave the fans an opportunity to see other wrestling organizations. Now, there was some good things and some bad things about this. The good things was that fans got to see a lot of other wrestlers. But one of the bad things came about in this was the fact that all of the wrestling organizations all of a sudden started this fierce competition with each other. Used to, the competition was just between the wrestlers, and that's the way it always should have been. But then all of a sudden the wrestling organizations, the companies, started competing with each other. They wanted to all get all the best wrestlers, and they wanted to all have all the talent, and they didn't really want to cooperate with each other. You know, like if you wrestled for the WWF, they didn't want you wrestling for the NWA, or if you wrestled for the NWA, they didn't want you wrestling for the USWA. And that, I think, was the loss of that's where the fans became the losers, because then, you know, we used to claim to be world heavyweight champions, and just, you know, that was one of the things about this unified title that I was always proud of. And I've said this before, and a lot of people think, well, you're just harping on that. But if you really look at it, it's the truth. I mean, guys claim to be world champions, but in actuality, if the company that they work for won't let them wrestle anybody that's not in their company, then they're not truly considered a world champion. I mean, you know, if Hulk Hogan is calling himself the world champion, but if he can't come down here and wrestle me, or if he can't go and wrestle somebody in the NWA, then why don't, I mean, he's really just the WWF champion. The same goes for Lex Luger in the NWA. If he can't wrestle anybody outside that organization, then he is just the company champion. Now, I'm not knocking these guys as individuals, but it's just a company policy that I wish someday would change. And when I won the AWA World Heavyweight Championship, I issued a challenge to all the other so-called champions. And the only one, as I said, the only company, the organization that had the guts, because it took a lot of guts to put your championship at stake, was the World Class organization with Kerry Von Erich. And Kerry Von Erich, the World Class World Champion, wrestled me, the AWA World Champion, in Chicago in December of 1988. And fortunately, I was able to come out on top in that match. And that's where the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the world came about. And this is the only championship still that I'm able to go out of the USWA. You know, I just went last month up in Philadelphia and wrestled for an independent organization up there that wrestles all throughout the Northeast. Wrestled the Honky Tonk Man in Philadelphia, and you know, was able to come out victorious in that match. And it's like, this, as I said, is the only title where it can be defended outside the organization. And I'm real proud of that fact. And the reason that I'm excited about this match that's coming up Monday night is the fact that, you know, here's Coco Ware, who has just been in the WWF. And a lot of people come to me, I mean, especially the young kids, because they don't always understand the implications and things like that. They come to me and they say, hey, why don't you go to the WWF, or why don't you go to the NWA? And a lot of times they say, you know, why don't you go to the big time? And because I guess that these guys are on cable, or, you know, every time you see it, it looks like a sold-out crowd or something like that, a lot of people think that that is the big time. But I just want to tell you this. I've been to New York City. I was on, you know, I've been to New York to wrestle. I wrestled the Road Warriors right in the Meadowlands Arena there in front of a sold-out crowd. And I've been on the David Letterman show. And I just want to tell you my experience in New York. When I left my hotel to go to the subway to get on the David Letterman show, and this is the honest to God's truth, I stepped over, out of a nice ritzy hotel, I had to step over people that were sleeping on the street. One guy had a baseball bat that he was using for a pillow that was sleeping right on the street. Now, if you people that think New York is the big time, a lot of you have obviously never been there, because I can tell you that I wouldn't live in New York City if they gave me a penthouse in Trump Plaza. I love Memphis, Tennessee, and this is my home, and we have got the greatest wrestling fans in the world right here in Memphis, Tennessee, bar none. I wrestled in Philadelphia just a few weeks ago, and there was one of the best matches that I've ever seen going on, and some of the fans were sitting there yelling, boring, boring. To me, these people are not wrestling fans like we have down here. These are real wrestling fans. These are people that know what wrestling's all about, and that's why I stay in the USWA, because this is an organization that still, their primary number one concern is they sell wrestling. They sell wrestling tickets. That's the only way they make their money. They're not, you know, they're not like the WWF. They sell dolls and toys and games and cereal and everything you can think of, and that's the way they make their money. So they're not going to push wrestling. This organization is concerned with one thing, and that's selling wrestling tickets to wrestling fans, and that's why they give them wrestling. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm excited about Monday night, because it's a chance to go up against Coco Ware, who is just coming from the WWF. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Coco, because Coco is a fine wrestler. Coco is a great athlete. But I want to have a chance to show people that Memphis, Tennessee and the USWA is big time, and it's as big time as I want to get. And I'm going to show everybody here, and I'm going to show Coco Ware that we got some winners down here.
Very good, the King. Boy, it's nice to do an interview where you don't have anything to disagree with. And I agree with everything that the King has just said. There he goes as he greets the fans. Set up here today. Coming into the ring right now, the Warrior rolls in and the Scorpion heads out. We are just about set to go with this opening match, a one-fall 15-minute time limit event. The Scorpion now back into the ring. Referee Frank Morrell is there, and the Warrior is set to go. As soon as we get the signal, oh, the Scorpion nails him from behind. The Warrior up there celebrating, greeting the crowd on the Whoa, look at that.
Yeah, big clothesline by the Warrior, Dave, and he takes the Scorpion into the rope, comes on, big drop kick on the Scorpion. The Scorpion thought he was starting his bout off right by jumping the Warrior from behind. The Warrior on his feet now. Whoa, big slam on the Scorpion. This bout is supposed to be one fall, 15 minutes in time. There's a 1, 2, 3, but it's already over. Warrior, our first look at him, David.
Well, we've got about 14 minutes left out of that time limit, as a matter of fact. The Warrior didn't take much time at all. Scorpion jumped him from behind before the opening bell sounded, and then immediately turned and went to work, pinning the Scorpion, getting a nice victory here. Good display by the Warrior as he defeats the Scorpion here. I tell you what, we've got another tag team. We had Masters and Sawyer. Single match Monday night at the Coliseum. Eric's driver, Tony, going against the Warrior. We got our first look at him.
Good. Really
yes,
good.
He did. It didn't take him long to win that match either. Let's see what he had to say about this match.
People out there, just to let you know, you don't have to be ultimate just to be a warrior. And Tony Falk, you better lock your doors, lock your windows, because I'm the new force in the USWA, and I'm coming.
He looks like he can be a formidable force. We're going to bring out here in just a minute. First, I want to show you this. This is Pro Wrestling Illustrated Weekly. Some mighty nice folks. Bill After and his staff have some mighty nice things to say about me in this issue. But take a look at this right here. The Wrestlers of the Week all around the world right there. Jeff Jarrett and Jerry Lawler. And here are the Wrestlers of the Week right here. The reason they're Wrestlers of the Week is because of the way they've been working over the Moondogs. And I don't know if they want to talk too much about that today or some upcoming matches or what, but we'll just kind of let them say what's on their mind. The World Tag Team Champions. Here comes the King right here, and here comes Jeff Jarrett right along with him. Guys, congratulations on Wrestler of the Week. Congratulations on the belt and everything else.
Well, you know, things have been going pretty good for Jeff and I as a tag team. You know, we showed you where they had us ranked number 3 in the entire... Where'd that shaving cream come from? Man, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
They had us ranked number 3 in the entire world. We're real pleased with that. And, you know, Jeff and I, that sort of leads into what we wanted to talk about, because we have always felt that, without a doubt, the wrestling fans in this area we think are the greatest in the world. And we think we also have some of the greatest wrestlers in the world right here.
Absolutely.
And I've said it before. I get asked a million times. A lot of the fans, when they see wrestling on cable or they see wrestling associated with New York, for some reason they always think that's the big time. And I've had a million wrestling fans come up to me and say, well, King, when are you going to go to the big time? When are you going to wrestle in the big time? You know, and that sort of thing. And I always tell them, hey, this is the big time as far as I'm concerned, and these are the big time fans, and you people out there that are watching are big time. And Jeff went down a couple of weeks ago. I'll let you tell him about the challenging the big time, right, Jeff?
Well, yeah, that's right. Well, so-called big time. You know, for some people they do know, and some people don't. A couple of weeks ago, I came out, Dave, and you're the first one to know, I guess you could say. I said that I was going to go down to the Pyramid. The WWF have matches right here in Memphis. I think it was back on August 9th. And I said I was going to go down there and buy a ticket, which I did. Sat about the 3rd row, and as the matches went on, I decided I was going to go up and let the WWF realize that the USWA did exist, and this was our town. So I got up in the ring, and I issued a little challenge to Randy Savage. He's the WWF World Champion. He wasn't there. But the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Bret Hart, was there that night, and I issued a challenge to him that if he comes into Memphis, the WWF comes into Memphis, and they act like the USWA doesn't even exist. Well, I issued a challenge, and they said if he's a true champion, and if he's just going to be a company champion, he'd ignore it. But I issued a challenge to put his title on the line, and we can have a match anywhere. And I guess much to my surprise, he said that he's going over to England to defend his belt, and if he got back with the title, that he sure would give me a shot right here in Memphis. And it's a pretty big surprise to me.
That's true, but that's great. And you know...
Since then, that was back August 9th. Since then, I hadn't heard a word out of Bret Hart, the WWF, any of their officials, or anything like that.
Well, we have some videotape, and I don't know if you guys know about this or not.
Yeah,
but
do you? We understand that the challenge obviously opened a lot of eyes up there, and I'm sure Bret Hart said what he had to say there in front of the WWF crowd that night. I don't know how tickled he would be to come back here and actually wrestle, Jeff. But I understand now that somebody that I'm real familiar with, and everybody out here is real familiar with, that thinks he's in the big time now, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, heard about this challenge, and I understand that he has sent a tape in here, and I haven't seen what's on it, but I'd like to hear what Jimmy Hart has to say about this.
Let's all listen and watch together right here.
Surprise, surprise! I guess you can never say never, right, baby? Hey, you know what? A good friend of mine, Arsenio Hall, he has a little saying that goes something like this. The things that make you want to go, Well, you know what makes the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, want to go, I'll tell you what it is. A little bird told me that a few weeks back, man, when the World Wrestling Federation was in town down at the Pyramid, little Jeffrey Jarrett, a wrestler with the USWA, bought himself a ringside ticket, crawled up in the ring and got the microphone and challenged one of our superstars, Bret the Hitman Hart. He felt like he could go head-to-head with the superstars of the WWF, including Bret the Hitman Hart. Jeffrey, are you kidding me, man? Oh, man, you gotta be dreaming! Then also, little bird told me that Jeffrey Jarrett, along with his tag team partner, and I know this guy very, very well, Jerry the King Lawler, will rank number 3 in the world by some local wrestling magazine. Now, if you're ranked number 3 in the world, man, there's only one way you got that ranking. Probably old Eddie Marlin, the promoter down there, reached into his back pocket, pulled out that old billfold of his, blew off the old dust on top of it, opened it up, got those cobwebs away from those old $1 bills and pulled it out and probably paid somebody to have that ranking put in there. Jerry Lawler, Jeffrey Jarrett, on your best day, baby, you couldn't beat anybody in the World Wrestling Federation. Who knows Memphis, Tennessee, and you two guys better than Jimmy Hart? I lived in Memphis over 25 years of my life. I went to Treadwell High School. I formed a group there called the Gentrys, and by the way, we cut a million-seller record called Keep On Dancing. We're the ones that knocked the Beatles off the charts. Every Monday night for 5 years, I got in my car. I turned right on Summer Avenue, went down, turned to left on Parkway, baby, pulled into the Mid-South Coliseum, walked into the Coliseum, and there was my own private dressing room door with a big star up there that said, Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South. I propped my feet, baby, up on the counter. I looked into that mirror, and I said, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the smartest and greatest wrestling manager of all? And it always said the same thing. You are, Jimmy Hart. You know, everything we have in the World Wrestling Federation is bigger and better than anything in the USWA. Our announcers are the greatest in the world. You've got Dave Brown, the weather clown, sitting next to some guy down there, and this guy is so bad, sitting next to him, it makes Dave Brown look good. We have 7, not 1, but 7, 18-wheel trucks, baby. Those big old semis with WWF printed on the side that go all over the world, man, pulling all of our rings and all of our equipment, man. What do you got? You've got poor old Buddy Wayne Pill with an old 1959 Ford Fairlane hooked up to some old flatbed trailer, some old dilapidated ring on it with may pop tires, and everybody in the South knows definitely what a may pop tire is. It may pop any minute. And you have the nerve, Jerry Lawler, Jeffrey Jarrett, to challenge the superstars from the World Wrestling Federation? You couldn't beat anybody up here on your best day, man. But you see, this has got me mad. I am going to issue you two guys a challenge, baby. I say that our guys are way better than anybody for the USWA, especially you, Lawler, and you, Jarrett. The lowest guys on the totem pole in the World Wrestling Federation. I mean, the lowest guys, man, could beat you. So, you know what? This challenge is to you two guys. And I'll tell you this, and I've said it once and I'll say it again. Lawler, you and Jeff Jarrett are just like Memphis, Tennessee, baby. You're built on a bluff.
Well, you know, I heard somebody over here say he's telling the truth. Well, let me tell you something about Jimmy Hart. He's sitting there with a big smile on his face, and he's happy as he can be. And yeah, he's in the WWF. He's making a lot of money right now.
Trying to make a lot of jokes.
Yeah, and Jimmy Hart, you're right. WWF, They got big ring trucks. Like he said, they got big 18-wheelers that haul their ring and all their equipment to all of the towns around the United States, and they go first class all the way. And I'm going to say this, Jimmy Hart. It would probably be a big joke. It would probably be a big joke to Jimmy Hart to see, well, just like I can remember wrestling one time, I think it was Caruthersville, Missouri, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. I saw a man drive up to our wrestling matches. They were held in a National Guard armory, and he actually came on a tractor. And Jimmy Hart, I'm sure you and everybody at the WWF, you'd have got a big laugh over that, wouldn't you? Well, I'm going to tell you something. It almost made me cry, Jimmy Hart, to see a guy that thought enough to come to see me and Jeff that he would come out of his fields, the only way that he's got to make money, that he would come out of his fields to come to see us wrestle. And I'm not ashamed of it one bit that we're here in the USWA, and I'm not ashamed of the fact that we take our wrestling, that's right, in our ring, in the back of a pickup truck, you're right, to towns like Caruthersville or Kennett or Tupelo, Mississippi, or anywhere in Arkansas or Tennessee or Kentucky. I'm not ashamed of that fact, Jimmy Hart. As a matter of fact, I'm damn proud of this place, and I'm proud of all of these people right here. You understand that, punk? Now you start talking about us, and you're going to get me hot, and I want you to understand that. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I taught you, Jimmy Hart, you want to talk about history? You're right. You went to Treadwell High School. I went to Treadwell High School. And I'm going to tell you something else. I still remember the day that I went over here on Lamar Avenue at the Levy Lounge, and you and the rest of your little gentries were singing for $150 a week at the Levy Lounge, and I felt sorry for you, Jimmy Hart. And I gave you a job carrying my suitcase into the Mid-South Coliseum on Monday nights. And you want to talk about that star over the dressing room door? Well, you would still be at the Levy Lounge on Lamar Avenue if it wasn't for Jerry the King Lawler, and don't ever forget it, punk. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. You want to issue a challenge to me and Jeff Jarrett? Well, we're more than glad to accept it, because I'm going to tell you something. I'll take on anybody in the WWF, as I have before. I'll take on anybody in the NWA, the WCW. I don't care where they are. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So, Jimmy Hart, bring your WWF in here, because Jeff and I are ready for him. Is that right? Are we ready for him?
Let me interrupt you just a minute. I don't want you or the fans to think that this is the WWF versus the USWA. It's not. I understand.
What about what he just said, Eddie?
That's
making
Jimmy
a big
Hart.
pack of lies
wait
about
just a second. That is Jimmy Hart. And I know what you think of Jimmy Hart, and I feel the same way. But I have no beef with the WWF, Vince McMahon, or any of his staff. It's a fine organization. And they got some great talent. Now, wait a minute. They got some great talent there. And a lot of them started right here, just like Jimmy Hart did. And our open door policy, we welcome any of the talent to come in here and issue a challenge or wrestle. Now, this beef is Jimmy Hart. It's not the WWF versus USWA.
As far as I'm concerned, you're right. We welcome anybody, Jimmy Hart. You send some WWF superstars down here, you put them on those 18-wheelers, or you put them first class in a big jet, you get them down here in our town, and we will show you, Jeff Jarrett, myself, and anybody in the USWA will show you exactly what you think of your big superstars. So bring them on, because we are ready for them. Is that right? Are we ready for them? Bring them on.
We'll be back with more of the USWA after this. Oh, okay. You know, we complain about Landell and Rich, but they are a tag team to be reckoned with. Here's another one right here. The world champions, Jeff Jarrett, Jerry Lawler headed this way. Boy, I tell you what, they had an incredible match this past week. This thing with WWF and USWA. And Lawler and Jarrett had a match against the Orient Express. And let's talk just a minute about that match. I still got those world belts. I know you guys are especially happy about that.
Well, we are happy about that. We just wanted to come out here real quickly and say, Jeff and I, well, first I got to give credit where credit is due. Jeff issued the first challenge against the WWF. He went in there against Bret the Hitman Hart in Memphis, Tennessee at the Pyramid. He got into the ring, the WWF's ring, and he challenged any of their wrestlers. The Hitman accepted his challenge, but then he went out and lost his belt at SummerSlam, didn't he? So I don't guess we'll be hearing from them. But we are a little bit disappointed that the WWF thought so little of Jeff and I that they tried to send a couple of boys to do a man's job. They sent the Orient Express down here, and just, I think we have just a little short piece of video. We'll let everybody know exactly what happened in that match here.
All right, watch this.
Leaps over and tags his partner, Jerry Lawler. Ball and strap comes down. Look at the King go to work on the Orient Express. Jeff's got the big Orient Express. Lawler's got Tanaka, comes off the ropes. Oh, boy, did he flip Tanaka. What a big right hand. Boy, he sent him about a 360 in the air. Jeff's got him. Ring full of action. You got Lawler and Jarrett and the Orient Express. All in the ring. Then Lawler's got a pin coming. He rolls him out, too. Oh, boy. Big guy shoved Jerry off that time. Big key and he got his partner. 1, 2, 3. They got him.
Great victory there for you guys.
Well, you know, it was a great victory in a sense because we did win. We felt like we upheld the USWA very well. But as I said, the Orient Express is not one of the best tag teams in the WWF. So we want them to know something, don't we, Jeff?
That's exactly right, Jerry. We're still here. Jerry Lawler and Jeff still have the belts. And Jimmy Hart, bring them on, because like Jerry said, don't send any more boys to do a men's job, and that's exactly what we're going to do, is hold on to these belts.
That's right.
All right, there they are, the King, Jerry Lawler, and Jeff Jarrett, still world champions. Back with more USWA action in a moment.
Not going to be wrestling Sergeant Slaughter and Mr. Mike Samples. You can tell him why. He's already promised me this. I'm not wrestling Sergeant Slaughter.
First off, you better stop advertising this or you're going to get arrested for false advertising. That match will not happen, and let me tell you why. Now, everyone knows that I own a major portion of this company.
That's right.
Wait. You may, we don't even have proof. You may own 10%. 10% is not major.
Right.
Dave, it doesn't surprise me that you're a couple of weeks behind. There have been some major acquisitions this past week, but I'm not prepared to tell you about that. What I am prepared to talk about is the fact that Eddie Marlin has formed an alliance with a man by the name of Vince McMahon and the WWF. Now, they're sending people down here trying to do away with my associates, Eddie Gilbert, and nice people like the Moondogs, and that makes me mad. I'm not going to stand for it.
Steal my title.
Sergeant Slaughter is a former WWF World's Heavyweight Champion. If they would send someone down here, a preliminary wrestler, it would be okay. But not a former champion. Eddie Gilbert has other things to do. That match will not take place. I'm not going to stand for... Oh, now here comes Eddie Marlin.
Yeah, Eddie.
Here comes Eddie Marlin. I come out here to tell you that match is going to take place. It's been signed, and the match will take place. I don't care what you say.
Well, you can come out here and talk all you want. You have to confer with me before you sign any more matches. I have good ownership in this company now, and you're not just going to have carte blanche to come in here and sign up match after match after match after match, because you come see me from now on. You understand?
Let me tell you something. I've signed
No,
the
don't tell me
best
nothing.
card that's ever been in this city,
I don't
and
care.
you're out here trying to run it
I
down.
don't care.
I'm telling
I
you,
don't
your
care.
10% might allow
care.
you to sweep out the ring or something, but
You're
it does
behind,
not
too.
allow you to sign the matches.
You're behind,
I'm
too.
signing the matches,
10%
and the
is
match
not higher
will
now.
take place.
Sergeant Slaughter
No, it won't
against...
either. Sergeant Slaughter, he may come down here, but it won't do him any good. He can get back on the plane and go.
The match will take place, and you can either get out of here or I'll throw you
You
out
come
of here
see
right
me
now.
when you want to
I
sign a
don't
match.
see you for nothing.
Oh, come on, Eddie. Turn him loose.
I'm not going to have to wrestle Sergeant Slaughter now, am I?
Here comes Jeff. Well, there they go, Samples and Eddie.
Gilbert. Jeff, help him out here.
I don't care how many sucker punches he can throw. That match will take place. Sergeant Slaughter's got a word to say to him about it, and he will pay for that.
Yeah, we've got some videotape on Sergeant Slaughter. Let's take a look at that. Thanks, Jeff, for helping.
Attention, hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert. You scum, you slime, you maggot. My name is Slaughter. Drill Sergeant Slaughter. Have you ever heard of Drill Sergeant Slaughter? Well, it's your lucky day, because my orders just came down, and they say that I am to go to Memphis and face you at the Mid-South Coliseum this Monday night. Your worst nightmare. Hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert. I am Sergeant Slaughter, and when I come to the Mid-South Coliseum, my mission is to seek out and destroy you. I'm gonna kick butt and take names. And speaking of names, why do you call yourself Hot Stuff? Are you some kind of a pretty boy? Well, I don't like pretty boys. Do I? Do I, Hot Stuff? Speak up! Speak up, you rat! I can't hear you. Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert. Consider your days numbered. Consider your hours numbered. Consider your seconds numbered. Because I, Sergeant Slaughter, am coming to defeat you for the USWA Heavyweight Championship. And I will destroy you. I take no prisoners. And that's an order.
I'm not the type of man to come out here and talk a bunch of crap. But this man I'm talking about is one of the best, one of the baddest individuals you're ever going to see come out in the squared circle. And that man I'm talking about is the one and only Jimmy Hart. Not to the south, baby.
Jimmy Hart.
People stand up and give him a
What are you talking? Jimmy Hart.
Take a look. You know, let me, no, wait.
Jimmy, we appreciate you coming out for the surprise and all that. The fans enjoyed seeing you, I'm sure, but we got a format right here. You're not on it, and we're going to have to continue with the show.
Hey, look at Gaylord. Look at this, man. Look, Mr. Hughes. He's got a format. Well, you know what we're going to do this format? We're just going to rearrange a little things here today, just like it used to be 7.5 years ago. You know, some things never change, baby. Look at the middle of this ring. That old patch is still in the middle of this ring out there. Where's Buddy Rain? Buddy Rain, you got to fix this up, brother. Somebody's going to get hurt, man. Look at how many people you got here. 30 or 40, 50 people over here. Everybody still getting free out here? You still getting free here? They still getting free. I guess you still go to the old church over here and get all those homeless people and wheel them in here, too, so you can fill up this audience out here, baby. Let me tell you something, man. I'm here today to give everybody here a history lesson. Because, you know, sometimes you need to go back to school and learn a little bit from your past. You know what I'm saying, baby? Many years ago, back in the 1960s, baby, at Treadwell High School right here in Memphis, Tennessee, Jerry Lawler and Jimmy Hart went to school together. Now, the only thing difference in Jerry Lawler and Jimmy Hart was this. I graduated from Treadwell High School with honors. Jerry Lawler spent so many years in the 12th grade that all the kids used to bring him apples because they thought he was one of the teachers there. But you see, when Jimmy Hart got out of Treadwell High School, I formed a group called the Gentrys. Now, this was back when the Beatles were number one. The Dave Clark Five, man, they were on the charts. The Rolling Stones were hotter than ever. But that's when Jimmy Hart, Larry Raspberry, Bruce Bowes, Bobby Fischer, all of us put a group together right here locally, cut a record with Chip's Moment over at American Studios, and put Memphis on the map musically. It wasn't Elvis Presley. It wasn't Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis. Our record in 1 week's time, baby, sold 5 million copies. That's right, baby. Then one day, we had this big super concert coming up on New Year's Eve, and a good friend of mine, George Klein, came to me and he said, you know, Jimmy, do you ever watch that little wrestling show on Channel 5 TV with that guy that calls himself the King, Jerry Lawler? And I said, well, I think I have a couple of times. I went to school with a guy, and he goes, well, you know what? His one dream, his one ambition, baby, was to get on stage with you and the Gentrys and maybe singing one little song. And I said, well, you know, for you, George, I guess I'll do it, because I don't guess that'll hurt anything if he gets on and sings one song with us. So we brought Lawler up, man. New Year's Eve, sellout crowd, 3,000 people, right? I dig this scene, man. The band's up jamming and playing. We're rock and rolling, doing Keep On Dancing. And now here comes Jerry Lawler. When he opened his mouth, man, he sounded like he had about a ton of broken glass in his mouth every time he started to sing. It was ridiculous. It was horrible. I told Jim McGuire, my guitar player at the time, I said, Jim, crank the music up. But the louder we got, the louder this guy was singing. So we come off stage. What does the manager say? The manager says, you know, Jimmy Hart, buddy, this guy was so bad, I think it's killed your career musically here in Memphis. So for 6 months, baby, we couldn't even get a job in town. So I went to Jerry Lawler and I said, hey, look, King, this is the situation. This is the situation, baby. Well, you're going to hear it, baby, whether you like it or not, pal. So I went to him and I said, King, your wrestling career's dead. My music career's dead because of you. So why don't we get together and put ourselves together a situation that'll take you back to the top of the wrestling scene. So for 1 year and a half, I managed Jerry the King Lawler. He held every kind of belt imaginable, baby, until one day, Lawler felt a little homesick. So he wanted to go back to Memphis, Tennessee, Treadwell High School, and play some touch football with some of his local high school flunkies. While he was playing football, that skinny referee that used to be here, Jerry Calhoun, blindsided Lawler and broke his little puny leg. Now, there goes Jerry Lawler up to the St. Francis Hospital. He's in traction. He's got a broken leg. Now, what's Jimmy Hart supposed to do? Am I supposed to quit wrestling, quit music for Jerry Lawler? No way, baby. So you know what Jimmy Hart did, baby? I came back down here, Channel 5 TV. I wasn't going to sit up there and change his bedpan, hold his hand, take his temperature. And I went on TV, and I said the most famous words ever said on Channel 5. What do you do when a horse breaks his leg, baby? You shoot him. That's exactly what you do. So I started managing other wrestlers, and I took them to the top right here in Memphis, Tennessee. But then, that's where the big conspiracy started, baby. That's when old Eddie Marlin, Mr. Tight Pockets, got together with a big promoter here, Jerry Jarrett, and they formed this big coup, him and Jerry Lawler, to get rid of the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, 7.5 years ago. So all of a sudden, I found myself with my back against the wall. The first match, they signed me to going down to the Mid-South Coliseum on Monday night and going in the ring against Thomas Marlin, who weighed 255 pounds, who was Eddie Marlin's brother, who was an ex-boxer, Golden Gloves champion, and now I'm in a boxing match in the Mid-South Coliseum. But what did I do, baby? I hit him with a left hook, knocked him out, went over, looked down, pulled up the old, get the camera down here. You see you got one camera here. Reached down, took the boxing glove off, and there was a pair of brass knucks in there. But you know what? Jimmy Hart landed on his feet as usual. About 6 months after that, all of a sudden Eddie Marlin goes, you know, Jimmy, we've just signed you another match. And it's with Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman, the comedian, Mr. New York, Mr. Hollywood. He said, yeah, you're going to be in a handicap match against Jerry Lawler. And I said, Andy Kaufman can't wrestle. What am I doing with him? So now, there I am in the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night in a handicap match with Andy Kaufman against Jerry Lawler. What happens? You know the rest of the story. Lawler pile drives Andy Kaufman, breaks his neck, Andy Kaufman dies. it was going to be Jimmy Hart. I know he was trying to pile drive me, but once again, baby, Jimmy Hart landed on his feet, baby. But then, this was the big one, baby. The history lesson is almost over, but I want you to listen to this part right now. This is very important, baby. Then, the big one. Right here, Corey, where you're sitting, pal, there used to be a man that used to sit there named Lance Russell, Banana Nose Lance Russell. This guy's nose was so big that every time he stuck his big head and nose outside his car window, the police arrested him for indecent exposure. So one day out here, in this very same dilapidated ring, I happened to slip and fall and dump a big bag of flour on Lance Russell's head. So what does he do? He runs to Dave Brown, the weather clown over here, who was his best friend in the whole world. They run over here to Eddie Marlin, and they go, we have got to get rid of Jimmy Hart. He is a threat to us down here. So what do? They put this big scheme together. He suspended me. Lance Russell suspended Jimmy Hart. What gave him the authority to suspend Jimmy Hart? He couldn't do that. Only Eddie Marlin could. So what happens? I am forced into a lose-or-leave town match at the Mid-South Coliseum on a snowy, rainy Monday night. But the big gimmick is this, baby. I couldn't even show up for the match because I was suspended. So I had to go to get one of my superstars at the time, Eddie Gilbert, who's still one of the greatest professional athletes in the world today, baby. He was up there in the Baptist Hospital with 2 IVs in each arm with a 108-degree temperature. We had to get the ambulance, take him down to the Coliseum, wheel him down to the ringside, and he had to go in the ring and fight Jerry the King Lawler. And the only reason he didn't beat Jerry the King Lawler then is because Jerry Calhoun, at the particular time, his best buddy in the world, Lawler's, gimmicked the match, and we lost it, baby. So there was Jimmy Hart, settling his home, packing up his bags, and heading out of town. But once again, you guessed it, I landed on my feet, baby. New York City. Everything has been fabulous in New York City. It's been great. The money, Philadelphia Spectrum, Boston Gardens. We just came back from SummerSlam, 83,000 people. But then all of a sudden my world came to a screeching halt because I had a little bit of news, baby, a little bit of news that came sifting up from the South down here. And it said that Jeffrey Jarrett, Eddie Marlin's grandson, Jerry Jarrett's son, Jerry Lawler's tag team partner, who, by the way, are supposed to be the number 3 tag team in the world. Do you believe that? Well, if you believe that, you'll believe anything, baby. So all of a sudden, Jeffrey Jarrett goes down to the Pyramid where the big boys from New York wrestle once every 2 or 3 months. He goes down there, he scalps a ticket. He goes down and he sits in the front row, and during a match with Bret the Hitman Hart, at the particular time was the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Champion, and he challenges him to a match. Now, let me tell you something here, Jeff Jarrett. First of all, baby, you got to wake up and get real, man. This man here is called the Mountie. This is one of the superstars of wrestling. See this right here, baby? Look at this. Isn't he great? Doesn't he look good? This is one of our superstars of wrestling magazines, baby. Not those little cheap magazines that Mr. and Miss Coffee sell down here every Monday night, along with you and Jeffrey Jarrett's wash and wear T-shirts, Lawler. They're wash and wear because you got to wash them before you wear them because you don't know who's been wearing them before you bought them, man. So he goes and challenges him, man. This is the man that you want to fight. And if you want to fight him, you just call me. But don't call me Collect, and I can set you up with a match, Jeffrey. But this leads me to now. The number 3 team in the world, supposedly, is Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett. Well, you know what I say? I say, baby, this right here is going to be the next number 1 team in the world. This is Mr. Hughes. This is Gaylord. But from now on, I might start calling him Mr. Howard. It might be the Howard and Hughes connection. Look at these guys' arms. Look at these guys' muscles. Now, Lawler, you and Jarrett, you want to fight somebody? Come here, Dave Brown. Take a look at this. What size coat do you think this man wears? You don't know. You don't know anything. What size coat do you think this man wears? Look at their fist. Look at this big fist. This big fist is bigger than anything you got, Daddy.
They're big, Jimmy. There's no doubt about it. They're big. They're an awesome-looking team.
Well, you know what, too? They're here. They're here for Jimmy Hart because they promised me that they will destroy anybody that gets in my way or anybody's way. They'll do anything I ask these 2 guys to do because I'm going to make them a fortune in New York, baby.
Jimmy, this has gone on a long time. We've listened to everything you had to say. You've got a team here that there's no doubt about it. They're big and they're tough. We have a show to do. I appreciate your stopping by.
Well, thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here. But you know what? I'm going to stay here for the rest of the day. How do you like that?
We're going to take a break right now. Let's go to break.
You're not going to get rid of me. I'm going to be here for the rest of the day.
running the show. You got your bodyguards over here threatening the crowd and everything.
Well, you know, that was a little history lesson, but that was then, and this is now. Now, this is the reason that Jimmy Hart mounted the South is in Memphis, Tennessee. The reason is this, baby. You know, Jerry Jarrett's son, Jeffrey Jarrett, thinks he's a big superstar, daddy's boy. Well, let me tell you something, Eddie Marlin. Oh, look, it's Walking Death. It's Eddie. Hey, Eddie, who unwrapped the mummy, baby? Who unwrapped the mummy? Does Undertaker know you're alive, baby? It's still out here. Come on, baby. What do you got to say?
I've got one thing to say, Jimmy Hart. We got a wrestling program to do, so you need to exit right now. So we get on.
Oh, you know what? That scares me to death. My knees are knocking. Let me tell you something, Eddie. Why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you go back there and sit in the back, get back in your wheelchair, get yourself some oxygen, and settle down before you have a heart attack on this show. Because if you don't have one today, in the weeks and months and years to come, I will give you one, pal. You can take that to the bank. Let me tell you something, Eddie. You know what I can't understand? I heard on the first part of the little program back here when I was listening that how convenient. Jeffrey Jarrett and Jerry Lawler happen to be wrestling or doing something really too busy to be here on this particular program today. Is that true?
That's right. They've got an appearance, and they can't be here right now.
Oh, they can't. You know what? Isn't this amazing? People out there, I want you to listen. For 52 weeks a year, every Saturday morning, Jerry Lawler for 20 years has been out here. For the last 7 years, Jeffrey Jarrett's been out here. Now, all of a sudden, the day that Jimmy Hart comes here with the Howard Hughes connection, all of a sudden they don't show up. Isn't that very convenient?
That's right, Jimmy, and you can go on leave, too, now. I tell you, we got a wrestling program we need to do.
Well, look, Eddie, settle down. Well, that's good. All right, let me tell you something, Eddie. You know what? I say that your little grandson, Jeffrey Jarrett, and Jerry Lawler are gutless wonders, just like they were. They're like Memphis. They're built on a bluff, baby. No, wait a minute. I'll tell you why they're gutless. You know why they're gutless? Because they run their big mouth from here in Memphis, Tennessee, all the way to New York City. They call Jimmy Hart a punk. They said that my men are no good. They want to challenge the people from New York City. Well, let me tell you something, baby. I want you to sign a match with them for this Monday night with the Howard Hughes connection against Jerry the King Lawler and Jeffrey Jarrett. They don't have to put up their big championship belts. They don't have to put up their hair. They don't have to put up anything. You're the promoter. You can change the card. Book this card. Come on, Eddie.
I've talked to Jerry Lawler and I've talked to Jeff Jarrett, and they said they would sign a match with anybody that I've come up with, anybody that, especially Jimmy Hart, come up with, because they don't like Jimmy Hart.
But let me tell you something, Eddie. I know you're stumbling around. I know those old teeth of yours are coming unsuper glued. Let me tell you what I'm going to do right now. They might, you know what, I still don't trust a lot of them. You know what I've got here to try to entice everything? Now, don't let your eyes bug out and you better watch him. He'll try to grab this money and run on me now, baby. This right here, Eddie Marlin, is $5,000. You see this money? $5,000 right here. Jerry Jarrett, his little son, Jeffrey Jarrett, okay, and Jerry Lawler, the number 3 tag team supposedly in the world. Why don't you make some extra money? Lawler, I know you love money. I know you love money. I see your eyes bugging out. And I know there's some fat, pimply-faced little girls over there that Jeff would like to spend the money on.
Sign the match, Dave.
Woo! You're going to sign it? The match is signed Monday night, right?
You should get out of here.
Sign it, sign
The match is signed. All right. Going to be these guys against Lawler.
$1,000.
$5,000 at stake.
Great.
It's signed. There you go.
It's signed. Thank you very much, Jimmy, for stopping by. We're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
I'm going to stay out.
Corey, while he's over there talking to the crowd, here he comes back. Come on, Jimmy, the crowd wants
Let me tell you something, Lawler. You and Jeff Jarrett, we're not satisfied with beating you. We're going to hurt you. We're going to put both of you in the hospital. I'm going to get you out of my life for leather. Both of you 2 punks. You'll be gone forever.
Dave, first I want to apologize to all the many fans out there looking, because this is a wrestling program, and so far this morning all we've had is your big mouth.
Hey, you can't talk to me like that.
A while ago I was a little upset with you being here, but now I'm sort of glad you're here. You're welcome to be here, because I just talked to Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett, and they assured me they would be here in 5 minutes or less. So you're welcome to stay.
5 minutes? Lawler, they're going to be here in 5 minutes. Oh, beautiful, baby. That's what we've just waited for. Lawler and them in 5 minutes.
5 minutes, all right.
Oh, look at him there, yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait, you said 5 minutes? Lawler and Jarrett are going to be in 5 minutes?
What he said.
Well, that's just great, because I don't have 5 minutes now, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to catch a plane and go to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania tonight at the Spectrum. I wish I did have 5 minutes. I'd give anything for 5 minutes, but I don't have 5 minutes. But I promise you this. I promise you this, Lawler and Jarrett, we're going to end your career once and for all.
Now he doesn't have 5 minutes.
Yeah, no time now all of a sudden when he finds out they're on the way. Out here, he's out here running his mouth for almost 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And
Lawler makes it up against the ropes. Whoops him in. Big shoulder for Mr. Hughes. Leaps over Lawler. Comes back. Big hip toss from the King. Gaylord whips Jeff Jarrett in. Jeff comes under. Goes under again. Comes back. Beautiful broad press. Gaylord kicks out at 2. Oh, boy. Mr. Hughes has nailed away at Lawler in there. Boy, he continues to work him over. Referee Paul Neighbors, he's finally in and trying to help Lawler. Oh! Hughes goes in and smothers Paul in there. Oh, Lawler rolls him up in a small package. He's got him. He's got him covered. The referee Paul Neighbors is out in there. Gaylord kicks him off. Breaks the cover. Oh, here comes referee Frank Morrell in now. Goes over and tags Jeff Jarrett. Here comes Jeff. Whips Gaylord in. Goes in after the drop kick and misses. Missouri Tiger whips Jeff into the rope. Jeff comes off. Leaped over Gaylord in there and caught referee Frank Morrell. Gaylord's got Jeff bad. Referee Frank Morrell is out. Lawler's trying to get him going, get his attention. We've already lost one referee in Paul Neighbors. Oh, Gaylord goes after Jeff Jarrett with that big football tackle in there. Misses. Hughes holds on to Jeff. Jeff Gaylord goes over. Now Jeff Jarrett. Jeff comes down. Here comes Jerry Lawler. He waits on Mr. Hughes. Now's Hughes. Jeff's got Gaylord. 15-minute pass. 45 to wrestle. 15-minute pass. Lawler with a big backdrop on Mr. Hughes. Jeff Jarrett's up the lead. He nails Richard Lee. Lawler's overworking over Mr. Hughes. Here comes Bert Prentice. What in the world is he doing out here? Prentice is saying, hey, I'm a referee. He slides Frank Morrell out. He said, hey, I'm referee. Look at my shirt here. Jeff has second thoughts about it. Oh, Lee grabs the leg of Jeff Jarrett. Prentice looks over, sees him grabs his leg. Counts the finish, 1, 2, 3. And a Howard Hughes connection. Gaylord and Mr. Hughes get to 1, 2, 3 in 16:01.
Well, he ran out of referees there, and then Bert Prentice kind of jumped in, and you saw the result of the whole thing. The guy who brought the Howard Hughes connection into town had a few words. The only good thing I can say about it is he's not here to run his mouth for 20 straight minutes today. Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
I told you so. I told you so. You know, it was really great, Lawler, being in Memphis last week at Channel 5 Studios, baby. Walking down memory lane. Looking at poor old Dave Brown, the weather clown, behind the desk with poor old Corey. Like I said before, Corey, you're so bad, baby. You make Dave Brown, the weather clown, look good. Looking at that old dilapidated, torn-down ring right there in that studio with the big old scotch tape or whatever it was across it. Buddy, I hope you fix that ring, man. Somebody's going to get hurt in that ring. Poor old Mr. and Miss Coffee over there selling those Jerry Lawler and Jeffrey Jarrett wash and wear T-shirts, man. Look at those 20 or 30 people in the audience. Whew, what a walk down memory lane that was. But you see, the biggest thrill I had, man, was Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum, by the way, which I was barred from going to the Mid-South Coliseum because, you see, right before I was getting on my plane in New York City, I had a phone call, and they said, Jimmy Hart, you have been suspended for 7.5 years. You still cannot come back to the Mid-South Coliseum until Eddie Marlin lifts your suspension. I said, okay, if that's the way you want to play, baby, you're playing in the right ballpark when you play in Jimmy Hart's ballpark. But you see, I didn't lose my $5,000. The Howard Hughes connection, baby, wiped Jeffrey Jarrett and Jerry Lawler out. We've made a laughing stock of you two guys. We've made a joke of you. You went on TV, man, and you said how big and bad you two guys were. You know, Eddie Marlin, you said they were number 3 in the world. Well, let me tell you, we're the big boys from New York. Look at this, baby. This is Jimmy Hart and Money Incorporated. What a great team. This is Jimmy Hart and his nasty boys. What a super team, Daddy. And now it's Jimmy Hart and the Howard Hughes connection. So let me tell you something, Eddie Marlin. Before it's all over, baby, I'm going to give you a heart attack, a Jimmy Hart heart attack. And I might be banned from the studios at Channel 5, but I'm going to send you a video in every week, until I finally get rid of Jerry Lawler and Jeffrey Jarrett.
A video every week. I can hardly wait. Back with more after this. Coliseum, 7:30 is when it all begins. Junkyard Dog is right here, and JYD, you got a very special partner coming up this week.
Well, I told the boys last week that I had friends in high places, so I made a telephone call, and I got a return on the call. So, Blackhearts, get yourself prepared. Take a look at that face. Take a look at that face. Look at it real close, because it's coming towards you. Monday night, right here, live in the Show Enough Living Color. And oh, by the way, I want you people to take a look at what's coming up on this video.
All right, yeah, we've got an interview right here from Hacksaw. Here he is, right here. Listen.
You're not messing with some punk kid at the convenience store. You've got Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 6'3", 290 pounds, and I'm coming at you. If you want to wrestle, fine. I can shoot takedowns, I can shoot go-behinds, but if you want to fight, if you want to hurt somebody, if you want to end somebody's career, well, I'm no stranger to that. Because remember, wherever Hacksaw Jim Duggan goes, my 2x4's not far behind. Tough guy. Oh!
There he is.
You see what I'm talking about? They broke his ribs 3 years ago. They tried to end my career. Monday night, it's going to be a lot of tail sparking.
The Junkyard Dog with Hacksaw Jim Duggan teamed up Monday night against the Blackhearts at the Mid-South Coliseum. I want to get my tongue back in shape here and see if I can talk. Oh, well, here they. I was going to take a quick break before anybody else showed up.
He knew where we're coming, and he run away. Hacksaw, you cross-eyed, snot-snooting idiot. We hurt you once. They're going to end it not only for you this time, but the Junkyard Hog, Dave Brown. It's going to be our pleasure. You think they were destroyed today? They're going to be destroyed worse Monday night. We're going to end it. I hope he don't think he's going back to New York.
We'll find out Monday night. It's going to be a different situation from what you faced here today, let me tell you. Back with more USWA action right after this. A week or so ago, you promised that the Browns were going to win one for your birthday, and they did.
Well, they did. They barely pulled it out over the Bears, didn't they? It was a good little win there, and the Bears went down to defeat. But, hey, can we get this is one of the greatest studio audiences I think we've ever had here. How about it? Look at this.
Good group.
Good group. Bunch of nice young people. Got some Boy Scouts over there. Everybody. Get them on TV a little bit there. I want to come out and explain, just take a couple of seconds here to explain where I was last week. You know, I wasn't on the card last Monday night.
True.
As a matter of fact, I'm not on the card again this Monday night, and I want to explain why. And then I'm going to explain. I also brought a little tape along here to show you what a thing that I did. Jeff and I went up and did this past week also, involving a little movie. I was in a movie.
Ooh, all right.
In a movie. Well, I'll show you that in just a second. But first of all, I wanted to say, you know, a few months ago, there was a sort of a challenge issued and a challenge accepted, or at least we thought it was accepted. Jeff Jarrett came out and went. Well, he actually went down to the Pyramid down here when the WWF was in town and bought a ticket, went to the matches. Jeff stood up, got up into the ring and challenged Bret Hart to a title match, because Jeff was, as I said, you know, he was carrying the banner for the USWA against the WWF, and Bret Hart accepted his challenge, but you see that match never materialized. Bret Hart said that he would come back and wrestle Jeff, but he's never come back and wrestled Jeff. Now, it's true, Vince McMahon and the WWF, I guess they got in contact with Eddie Marlin, and in my opinion, what I think they try to do is sort of just kind of smooth the situation over. They sent some wrestlers in here, like the Bushwhackers and Sergeant Slaughter and a couple of guys like that, But they didn't send anybody in for any title matches. They didn't send anybody in for Jeff to wrestle to try to win the championship. They didn't send anybody in for me to wrestle to try to defend this championship. And last week, there was a match scheduled. Vince McMahon had contacted Eddie Marlin and said, okay, we're going to send you one of our top wrestlers because we want our wrestler to have a shot at the USWA Championship and Jerry Lawler. And then, you know, I mean, this may all be, it may have really happened, but it seems like it's just a little bit too convenient to me, and especially when I tell you what else has taken place. Last week, on Friday night, the night before the TV show, with the match already booked, when we were ready to come out here and tell you about the WWF wrestler who's going to come down and wrestle me, Eddie gets a call from Vince McMahon and says, well, that guy's injured. He got hurt in a match last night. He's not going to be able to be there Monday night. So what that did right there, and he said, well, can you send a replacement? He said, we don't have anybody else available at this time. So that left me sitting without a match last Monday night. Now, he calls him back earlier this week, said, well, okay, we got this guy. He's well now. He's ready to come back. We'll have him there this Monday night. I get here today, and Eddie Marlin tells me that he gets another call last night from Vince McMahon and says the guy's injured again. So he's not going to be there again this Monday night. And that's why I say these things just look a little too fishy to me. What I think the situation is that the WWF don't want to send anybody down here to challenge for this title, because the fact is they know they don't have anybody up there that can beat me for this belt, because all of the people sit out there, and especially the WWF, all their superstars, they tell everybody how great they are, but when it gets right down to it, they don't want to go against me one-on-one. They don't want to go against the USWA one-on-one, because they are afraid that if we come out on top, then they're going to be sitting there with egg on their face, and they're going to have to eat crow, and they're going to have to admit to everybody that our wrestling right here in Memphis, Tennessee is not just as good, but is better than what they got in the WWF. And that's all I got to say about it. If you got anybody in the WWF that is man enough to face me, get them down here, Vince McMahon, because I'm sick of sitting around and not being wrestling in my own hometown.
Okay, Jerry.
Clear enough. If I make it
Absolutely. Before you leave, though, you mentioned something about where you and Jeff were this week.
Okay, that's right. Tuesday, Jeff and I had a real unique opportunity to go. We flew up to Toronto, Canada, and we got, I don't know how big it's going to be. We got a couple of parts in a movie that that the Disney company is filming. It's going to be a Touchstone picture. And it stars one of the guys that has been in one of the biggest grossing movies of all time, Back to the Future, Michael J. Fox. And I'll tell you what, the scene there's a little scene in there where Jeff and I are wrestling, and Michael J. Fox comes down to the ring. I get to pick him up over my head, spin him around a couple times. I threw him onto Jeff, and then Jeff throws him off onto the mat and out of the ring. So naturally, they had a stunt double that we were going to do this with. But actually, at the end of the day, we were filmed on this thing for about 13 hours. At the end of the day, Michael J. Fox said, I think I can do that. So we actually did it with Michael. But anyway, I brought along just a little. They told me later after I brought my camera there, they said, hey, we don't allow cameras backstage or anything. But anyway, I got a little footage. There's Jeff in the makeup chair. He was getting a little makeup put on. And I'm telling the lady I don't need makeup because I'm going to be wearing a mask in this thing. This guy here, this was Michael J. Fox's stunt double. This is the guy that we wound up throwing around the ring a whole lot. This is a little girl that's in the movie. She thought she was the greatest thing since sliced bread, the little brat. But anyway, no, you got your fill of her real quick. But she was nice. This was just some of the behind-the-scenes stuff there. They are getting ready to shoot some of the scenes. They had the movie cameras there, and they had this arena set up in a big university there. The guy in the green coat with the blue cap is named Mark Lawrence. He wrote Family Ties. He also wrote this movie. The guy that he's directing, that he's talking to there, is the director. And they're getting ready to set up a little scene where out in the audience there are a bunch of kids. Michael J. Fox plays, the name of the movie is Life with Mikey, and Michael J. Fox plays a guy that started as a child actor. See that guy there? They have a stunt double for Michael. They also have a lighting double. That guy sitting back there, he just sort of looks like Michael J. Fox, so he gets to sit around until they get all the lighting done right, and he does all the rehearsals, and then when they get ready to shoot the scene, he gets up out of the chair, and Michael comes in out of the trailer and sits down, and he only has to work for a few seconds, and this guy here. Now here's the little scene with the stunt double up over the head. I throw him onto Jeff, who falls, and then he in turn throws him off of there, and that was the stunt double. But we did later on wind up doing it with Michael J. Fox. And I think I had a little, and then there's the little girl that he brings down. I get to pick her up there, and we sing happy birthday to her after the match. And as I said, this is where they said you're not supposed to have cameras in there. So here we are getting ready to shoot the scene, and there I am with a wrestling mask on. Jeff is over there, and I'm telling Michael J. Fox, I said, look, Michael, I got a camera right over here hidden. So if you'll come over and say hi to all the people in Memphis, wave at them. And here said, there's what I think of Memphis. No, not really. Anyway, that's there we were just getting ready to shoot the scene with Michael J. Fox, and that'll be coming out sometime this summer, hopefully. But anyway, I won't take up any more of your time. I guess, Corey, do you mind if I come down there and sit with you Monday night at the announcer's table? Because thanks to the WWF, it looks like I'm just going to be watching the matches. But there are going to be some good ones, and I may, just like I did here, I may have to get involved some kind of way, okay? See y'all Monday.
Very good. Thank you.
Columbus Hall there, and
What is this?
Coco.
Coco where?
1 minute, Dave. You know,
Coco, we're doing out of town right
I can't help it what we're doing out of town, but I had to come down here to let something happen here, because I want to know what's going on around here, because I am sick and tired of what's happening here. I'm sitting at home watching the USWA, and every time I'm watching the USWA, Jerry Lawler's got to knock WWF.
Well, his opponent didn't show 2 weeks in a row.
That's a bunch of baloney. See, the fans don't realize what's going on in the wrestling business, but they realize what Lawler comes out here and talk about. Lawler tells them everybody's afraid of Jerry Lawler. Everybody in the WWF is afraid of Jerry Lawler. Well, nobody's afraid of Jerry Lawler. You know that.
Well, I know his opponent hadn't shown up for 2 weeks, and he's conveniently hurt.
Well, let me tell you one thing. I will give someone some credit, and that's Jeff Jarrett. He came down to the Pyramid. He bought a ticket. He stepped in the ring, and he challenged the Hitman Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Belt. But I'm telling you one thing. But you see, when Jeff did that, he got a lot of pride. He got a lot of guts. He had a lot of nerve to do that. And ever since then, Jeff Jarrett has been wrestling in Madison Square Garden. Jeff Jarrett has been in the Boston Garden. Where has Jerry Lawler been? Where was Jerry Lawler? Why did he come down to the Pyramid? If he called himself the king, why did he come down to the Pyramid?
Well, I don't know. I think it was a thing that Jeff really felt strongly about, and it doesn't. I don't think
you know where Jerry Lawler was at. He was hanging around the Cleveland Browns, those losers that can't even bow a match, can't even bow a football win. That's where he was at.
Well, I don't know where he was, but the point that, as I see it, is that Jerry does have matches which have been scheduled 2 weeks in a row.
I'm happy. You know, Dave Brown, if something's wrong, you know, Jerry Lawler's just like that fat Buddy Wayne Peel, always knocking everybody. Everything you do, he's got to knock this, knock this. With Jerry Lawler, come on, I'm one of the WWF guys. Come on out here now.
Well, he's around. I don't know. He was here earlier.
You call yourself the king? Come on out here, you sissy. Hey, come on out here right now, baby.
Now, here he is, right here.
Because he will give his left beat, Dave Brown, to be a part of the WWF.
I'm not sure that's true, Coco. I mean, I understand what you're saying. I understand you're upset. He had some harsh things to say about the WWF, but maybe with good reason.
I want to know one thing, Lawler. Why is every time you come out here on this TV show here, you always got to be knocking WWF? You think that we're afraid of you? Huh? Do you think?
Now, what are you guys doing out here, for heaven's sake?
He's a friend. Wait a minute.
Don't turn your back on him, Coco.
Don't turn your back on them, is it?
You're used to doing things professionally.
Hey, you just hush and be quiet, okay? Just a minute. I want to talk to you because I'm sick and tired of every time I'm sitting at home. I got a few days off. I'm still with the WWF. And you know you would give your left beat to be in the ring with the WWF. You know that.
Hey, look, let's get one thing straight, Coco Ware. Yeah, you're with the WWF.
That's right.
You started out right here in this area in front of all of these wrestling fans right here. You start out, but you know what you did, Coco Ware? You saw something that you thought was greener pastures. You thought was going to be something bigger and better. So what you did, you left all of these fine people right here and you went off to the WWF. Well, the difference between me and you is I love these fans right here, and I'm going to stay right here and wrestle right here.
Oh, you don't think I don't love them? I love them too. I live here just like you do, punk.
Well, hey, don't be calling me a punk.
Well, that's all you are.
No, if I wanted to be in the WWF, I could be in the WWF.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. If you could be there, you would be there now. No, you know good well you would give your life to be in the WWF.
What do I want to be in the WWF for? I just told you if I wanted to be there, I could be there. Okay. I am the USWA heavyweight champion, and I have challenged those jerks in the WWF. And why don't they show up when they're supposed to be down here to wrestle?
The WWF, Jerry Lawler, that's the Lions Den, and you, guys like you, doesn't belong there. That's the reason why if you had the opportunity, you would be in the WWF now.
No, I would not.
Yes, you would.
You think I couldn't? I could be there if I wanted to. I want to be right
there. You go lying again. You're lying again, Lawler, and you know you're lying.
That's the way you always do. You always do that. You always do that to everybody. You victimize everybody.
Let me say one thing here, Lawler. You saying that you can't get nobody to wrestle you. Well, I'm a part. Wait a minute, Eddie Marley. No, he wants the match.
Well, wait a minute.
I'm from a WWF. I'm in a WWF.
Come on.
Yeah. Good move, Eddie.
These guys. This makes me very...
No, you know good. Hey, Jeff, you know one thing? Let me tell you. Wait a minute, Jeff. Wait a minute. Let me tell you one thing, Jeff. I would give you...
If you want to say something,
I'm telling you what.
Hey. Watch it. Hey, get... Come on, what's your Coco? Man, this kind of stuff this is not the place for it.
Jeff trying to stay in between them. Eddie Marlin's got Coco. Don't hit Eddie.
Come on, Coco.
Look out. Coco's got a chair. Coco. Come on, Coco. All right, Eddie is telling Coco to get out of here.
Yeah,
he's going to have him thrown out of here.
that's the best thing to do. Yeah, head on out of here, would you?
Come on, Samples, you stay out of it, for heaven's sakes. We would have been better off if you and Prentice had stayed out of it anyway.
I'm tired of him knocking my company. When I used to work for you, Eddie Marley, I hated for someone to knock the USWA.
That's right. But right out here is no place.
you want to match with me? You got it all the time. Come on, you pick WWF.
Well, there they go again. Prentice, will you get out of here, for heaven's sakes, with that? Well, Eddie trying to separate him again, along with Jeff.
Hey, you're big shot WWF. You want some of me? You got it, pal, anytime you want it. You want it? You got it. Let's see how tough WWF is. Come on. You're WWF. You want it? You got it. All you got to do is say you'd want it.
Yeah.
Tell him you want it. Tell him you want the match. That's all you got to do. Tell him.
Yeah, I want the match. You signed the contract, and I guarantee you, I'll beat you for that world belt. And if I don't, Jerry Lawler, you will never hear or see Coco Beware again. I'll beat you for that belt, and I'll take it back to the WWF where it belongs. You understand that?
Yeah, right. Well, you got the match, punk. You're out there calling somebody a punk. You're a punk, and everybody in the WWF's a punk as far as I'm concerned. You understand that?
Come on, what's it? Hey, watch it. Yeah. Let's get it back away.
All right, Jeff has maybe got Jerry on the way out of here.
The bout's been signed. Let's
Bert,
Jerry Lawler, look at him run.
You and Samples do us a favor and help tell Coco it's time. It's time to go on out of here. Well, this is not the place for this. This should be taken care of in the office. Is where it should be taken care of.
Yeah.
That's what Lawler, he just telling the fans a bunch of lies. That's all he's been telling. He knows good well that he had never been to the WWF. He will give his life, he will give his mama, he will give his sister, he will give everybody away to be in a part of WWF, and he knows it. He's a coward.
Let's go. I told you this program's scheduled to happen.
Yeah, hey, come on, Coco. You got the bout signed. Come on, would you?
You can't argue with the man. He spoke the truth, Dave.
You can argue with him. Lawler doesn't have to go to New York or New Jersey or any place like that. The fact is he's been booked in WWF matches and opponents haven't showed. That's exactly the truth. And we know that for a fact from last week, and we know this week his match was canceled. And Coco, I understand Coco being upset. As we said earlier, Jerry had some harsh things to say.
Jerry got more guts than Jerry Lawler any day of the week because you didn't show up at the pyramid. You didn't show up at all.
Well, again, Coco's still not one to get out of here.
Yeah, he doesn't want to.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's do. I was going to try to complete the out-of-town action here if we could, but I don't know, is that going to be possible or not? It looks like they've got Coco. Let's just take a break and we'll regroup here, all right? Here, but I know you're not happy today.
No, I'm not happy at all. And that's an unusual situation when I come out here and I'm not happy. Because you see, I usually enjoy being out here. I usually enjoy coming out and saying hello to all of these great fans over here. But today is a different situation. Because of what took place out here last week, when I came out here and I told everybody about how the WWF stars were afraid to come down here and face us, then Coco Ware, he's sitting out in his big house in Germantown. He's watching me on television, so he jumps in his car, comes down here, and challenges me to a match for the Unified World Heavyweight Championship. Well, we had that match last week at the Mid-South Coliseum, and as you can see, I'm standing out here today without the belt. Now, that's why I am not happy today, and let me explain something to you. Now, I am a big enough man to admit defeat when somebody is a better man and beats me fair and square. But the way this took place, the way this came down, Coco Ware, you shouldn't have the belt. Bert Prentice and Mike Samples are the two jerks that ought to be sporting that Unified Heavyweight Championship belt around.
Let's show them. Let's show them what happened. We've got the end of the match on videotape right here, and you'll understand exactly what he's talking about. Watch.
Well, Paul's out over that. Coco climbs the middle rope. Oh, he misses with an elbow. Lawler's got him pumping over there for the 3. Here comes Samples and Prentice both. Boy, these guys. Oh, look at Lawler. Clear him out in there. Swings out to Prentice and misses. Prentice hangs on. Oh! And Mike Samples covers Bert Prentice. Lawler nails Samples. Oh, King turns around. And look at Coco Ware. Oh, boy. How drives the King. He's got Lawler covered. He got him. 1, 2, 3.
That was obvious what happened right there.
Well, you know, it's just when I watch that, it just makes me even madder because not only do I lose to Coco Ware with my own hold, the pile driver, the hold that I made famous. Of course, it's illegal, but that's all right. You got away with it, Coco. But the main thing that makes me mad is that you saw what happened. I had Coco Ware pinned. I had him down on his back. But no, here comes Mike Samples. Here comes Bert Prentice. And now Coco Ware, you know, he's out here running his mouth about, well, Lawler, you couldn't be in the WWF if you wanted to. Well, that very day, Coco Ware, let me tell you what I did after you ran your little mouth. All I had to do was go pick up the telephone one time. And Jack Tunney, the president of the WWF, begged me to come up there and host one of their television shows. Now, have you ever seen Coco Ware hosting the show with Vince McMahon? Have you ever seen that? No. Have you ever seen Coco Ware get off the plane in New York City and have them pick him up in the big WWF limousine? No. You won't ever see it. But you'll see me hosting the show anytime I want to go back because they begged me to come up there. Now, let me get one thing straight. I don't like Vince McMahon. I don't like the WWF. I don't like the fans in the North. I hate New York City. This is my hometown right here, Memphis, Tennessee. Do you understand that? So people have been asking me, King, are you going to the WWF? My answer is this. This is my home. The USWA is where I'm going to stay. I'm going to be right here wrestling. But if I have to chase that punk Coco Ware all over the country to get a shot at my belt, then that's what I'm going to do. Because, you see, he says he ain't giving me a title match now.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. You know about it, but the fans don't. But Corey went to the dressing room after all this was over last week and got this interview with Coco Ware. Listen.
Okay, are we rolling here, Randy, now? Yes. Okay, we'd like to go around here, fans, and get a word from the new Unified World Heavyweight Champion. He is the new holder of the belt, the Birdman, Coco B. Ware. Yeah, Coco. How you doing? It's Corey, and congratulations to you, on winning that World Heavyweight title. Hey, Coco, I don't know if Eddie Marlin's had a chance to talk with you just yet, but I'm sure all the fans out there like to know. I'd like to know myself, how soon will Jerry get a shot back at the Unified World title there?
Well, let me tell you one thing, Corey. He's not going to get a title shot. You think he deserves a title shot?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, wait a minute. You on Jerry Lawler's side or what?
Well, he gave you a title shot, Coco.
What's big deal? Because I knew I could beat him any day of the week. And I'm telling you one thing, Jerry Lawler. You're not getting a title shot again down here in Memphis, Tennessee. No way. You know what, Jerry Lawler? You're going to have to pick up the phone and call my dear friend, Vince McMahon. And let's just see how far you get with Vince McMahon. The only way you can get a title shot, you're going to have to come to the Madison Square Garden in New York City. You're going to have to go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. You're going to have to go to the Boston Garden, you know, in Massachusetts. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You see, I don't even work for Eddie Marlin. I mean, he's not even in my field, baby, because the WWF is big time. Who is Eddie Marlin?
He's the promoter around here.
Yeah, big deal. Oh, Eddie Marlin's a promoter. Yeah. He's Jerry Lawler promoter. And I told you, Jerry Lawler, that I could beat you any day of the week. And I told you, Jerry Lawler, that I am sick and tired of you knocking the people. Maybe you can wake up and smell the roses. Don't be knocking the WWF for nobody. If you understand that, you just shoot your own shot, Jerry Lawler, because I'm telling you, if you want a title shot, you have to come to New York City where this belt is going back to the WWF.
Well, that's Coco saying putting in his little 2 cents worth there about what he's going to do with the belt. Well, let me put in my 2 cents worth. Coco Ware, I think you're a gutless wonder. If you weren't, you'd be right here today in Memphis, Tennessee, which is supposedly your hometown too. You supposedly live here, but no. Where do you want to go, Coco? You don't care anything about these fans. You want to head up to the WWF. You're not here today. You're not here on Saturday mornings. You're not right here in Memphis, but that's where you're going to find me. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to go to New Jersey looking for Coco. I'm not going to go to Madison Square Garden. I'm going to wait right here, and I'm going to wait right here behind this desk here today, Dave. And I want to tell you something. If Coco Ware is sitting at home watching this show, I want to personally invite you down here right now. And another thing I want to do is I want to invite Mike Samples and that big fat Burt Prentice to come out here and show their face today, because they're going to see what they have done. They have made me hot, and when you make me hot, something bad is going to happen to you, boys. You might get barbecued. You might get beat. Something bad is going to happen, and it's going to happen right here today, right here on this show. So I'm going to stay right here until they show their faces out here today.
It looks like we're going to have a guest for part of the day. We've got a show though. We're going to go on with it. Let's take a break.
And I want Burt Prentice and Mike Samples to just show their face, because I got a little surprise for you boys. Come on.